and I'm here starting out my very first Mind, Body, Spirit upgrade hour. So for those of you that are tuning in, I'll do a little bit of an explanation of who I am to start with. Okay, it's a big question that. You see where I paused there? I am, right? And this is what this is all about. This specific show is about who you are, right? So I can say that I'm Adam Leonard, that I have skill sets in astrology, psychic work, mind, body, spirit. I've got all of those aspects, but at the same time, I'm more than that. And so are you, if you're watching here. So before I get into any greater depth here, I want to do a bit of a reach out and just say hello to those of you that are watching on any platform that you're on, and invite you to get yourself settled into a bit more of a zenful space. So back to me and my reality and how this can be an advantage to you. Now, many of us have heard of mind, body, spirit. And ultimately, mind, body, spirit deals with the multiple faceted aspect of ourselves. Like I said, I can say my name, but that's a name that's given to me, as in who I am, right? I can then also give you my skill sets. I've worked in the field of psychic mediumship, healing, astrology, numerology, soul path, all of that kind of stuff for 20 plus years, right? I'm also skilled in many different fields of helping people. But these are just things that are a part, they're a side of me. So I just want you to step for a moment whilst watching this outside of normal labels. And as you may have heard before, being the avid spiritual sort of open-minded audience that you are, to just step into a place where you are observing your incarnation in this 3D physical reality. Right now, there's a big thing going on at the moment. Many people are essentially waking up to the idea that we live in a sort of almost a matrix, so to speak, right? We live in a reality that's made up of vibration, and that our bodies are simply our bodies. And again, that's one distinction, to be able to say, we can say to ourselves, I can say I am dark-haired, blue-green eyes, that kind of, we can all say that. But that's just our physical body layer. Now, there are 3 layers that make up our identity. We've got the mental layer, okay? Now, this includes our thoughts. So all the thoughts that run through your mind, and the feelings, because there's a link there. And there's a distinction between feelings and emotions. Okay, now, just work with me here if you're watching. And I want you to see if you can observe your thoughts. Right, just observe them. Right, sit there from a place where that you are able to watch your thoughts. Now, most people believe who they are is their thoughts, right? That's what most people are. They build their awareness around. So your constant thoughts are all around your head. But what if I was to tell you that the majority of your thoughts are habitual and are in fact controlled by your body? Right? Believe it or not, we have a heart mind and a gut mind. It is all controlled by a sense of conditioning. Robert, just notice that you've said hello here, and thank you very much for you joining in. and enjoying this process. But I'm wanting to set this tone for this reflective moment, okay? Just for you to have this moment where that you look at your mind and you understand that your mind's thoughts lead to emotions, and those emotions then lead to more thoughts. And so if you think negative things, you will feel negative things, and those negative feelings will lead to negative hormones that run through your body that will then lead to negative thoughts, right? And I just want you to be aware. Just take a moment out here to just have a reflective moment on what those potential loops could be. Okay, what do you regularly think and regularly feel? All right. Now that, using the example of someone that gets up in the morning, going to work, traffic, they might be in a rush. They'll be thinking judgmental thoughts of other people, etc. Then they get angry and frustrated because they're late. That turns into adrenaline, cortisol, and if any of you are open to the idea that our vibration is the thing that crafts our reality, right? So many of us notice when we're in a bad day, what happens? Everything turns bad, right? And that's because feelings are our mind's interpretation on an event. So let's go there, right? What's happened to you where you have added a meaning to an event, right? Someone pulls out on you in traffic, let's use that analogy, and your head says you effing whatever, right? And you've labeled them, they're against you, they're getting in your way, without realizing you're starting to build up a victim mindset, right? Life's against me, I must be cursed, I must be, something's. Whereas what actually happened is someone pulled in front of you. That's it. That's all that happened. You had to put the brake on. That's it. But feelings are created from the meaning that the mind puts on things. Okay. Now, what the mind labels turns into a feeling, and that feeling turns into an emotion. Energy in motion. And that emotion is what is pulled towards you. Okay. That is what is drawn into your life. So be very, very aware of that. Be mindful of that. And just catch yourself when you're in those moments of going, what's essentially being drawn to me based upon what I'm regularly thinking and feeling. Now, the body layer, that's your physical body, which is quite self-explanatory. Your physical matter form, right? The muscles, the sinews, the skeletal bones. Right now, we're very aware of that. I'm very aware of how it can interact with things, how much it can lift and how much it can't lift. Right? We know the rules of the game. If we go to gym, we lift a lot. Eventually, we can get stronger. But what we have on top of that is the energetic body, which is like the aura, our energy field. And this is a thing that is massively influenced by our emotion. Okay? Now, whatever we feel is what we attract to us. That's the magnet of our world, right? So if you're wanting to master your life, you keep getting things that keep weaving into your life over and over and over, then you've got to have a look at what your mind and your energy is all about, right? Now, our energy is our chi. It's every single stage of now we've heard of chakra systems. Now that each individual chakra that represents different stages of our identity. Now, I'm not going to go through each of them. Many of you will probably be very savvy to that. But there are blockages that can occur in each chakra and blockages that occur in our life. But essentially, what we're dealing with here is a process whereby what you think turns into a feeling, and what you feel turns into an emotion, and that emotion then influences your energy, and that energy then is affecting the bodily systems. Well, in fact, actually, the emotion affects the body, which puts the hormones around the body, which then changes the energy makeup that you express. Okay. So what you'll notice is that some of you may be thinking that some people just have stuff that goes well for them, right? Let's just choose romance, for example. How many of you out there, I've talked to so many people like, I want to get my romance working. Okay. Why do I keep attracting the same things that keep going on in my life? Well, what's going on in here? What's going on in your chest? What's going on in the heart center? What's going on in your sacral chakra? What feelings do you regularly have inside you? Is it defensiveness? Is it emotion that's going on inside you that feels angry, frustrated, victimized? Whilst you feel that, you are going to attract more of that. Okay. So just reflect with me. What feeling do you regularly keep experiencing that you do not want to keep experiencing? Okay. Now I know, Robert, I know you're listening into this, and all of you listening into this, just have a little bit of a reflection point here. What do I feel all the time I don't want to feel? Okay. And just ask yourself why. But you don't want to ask your head. Okay. You want to ask your soul. You want to ask your higher self. And that's when we get to the spirit layer. Okay. The spirit layer is another dimension or aspect of ourselves. Now, the soul is a part of ourselves that exists outside of the physical body. It's in another dimension that we can get to in a deep state of meditation or in an altered state of mind. Okay. And simply being able to just relax for a few moments in a meditative state, go into our heart chakra area, and then connect with our inner soul. And I can guide you through this as a bit of a meditational process, but in principle, you connect in with yourself, you get into an altered state of mind, you get into a meditative state, and you connect to your heart center. And inside there, you will be able to feel the will of your heart. Now, it's a will, it's a passion, and it's straightforward. It's not complicated. The mind complicates everything. So if you're here wanting purpose, wanting direction, wanting answers, right? Ask the answer after all. Now, the answer is your soul, right? Now, what should you be doing? Where should you be going? What's the meaning behind everything that's going on? This is one of these things that we need to ask ourselves. Okay. Now, on top of the soul layer, we then also have the spirit layer. Okay. So we've got the aspect of connection into our soul, which is like really who we really are is our soul. So the soul is felt in all of us by the ambitious side, right? Those people that push themselves to go and do a marathon. That's not going to come from the body layer or the mind layer, because the body and the mind, they're driven by comfort zones. The mind wants to be correct, which is a comfort zone. And the body wants to be efficient. It wants to do that which saves energy and keeps it maintained. The thing that makes us do things that push ourselves out of comfort zone, that always comes from the soul. Okay. That person that, we always say when someone's got a strong spirit, what we're saying is that person's got a beating soul that is driven to do something amazing in the world, right? That person that just wanted to get to the center of the North Pole. Their body was screaming, their head was saying, I'm probably going to die. What am I doing here? Their soul made them do these amazing things. So it's inside you. There is a soul. There's a champion that has the answers. And that soul is connected to the spirit of consciousness, to God, eternal source, whatever narrative suits you. And it has access to all of the wisdom that exists. And we can connect into that as well. And that's where psychics come in. Now, notice Emily here. Hi, Adam. Great live. I'll just put that on here. Now, for some reason, I was just connecting in with a bit of your energy there. Clicked on the button, and Emily, as you probably noticed, I kind of phased out a little bit there. Emily here, you're enjoying the live, which is, nice of you to let me know. This is my first one. You've got a lot of this purple that floats around your name, which is kind of interesting. But it's not just the purple. Sometimes you get a mood that's purple. But the energy inside you is a little bit interesting. It's more core. But so no doubt a spiritual soul as such. Now, as you can probably tell, this Mind Body Spirit Upgrade Hour is a time to elevate yourselves to a, how can I put it, to a next level. If you've heard about levels of consciousness, right? 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, these are dimensional realities. And being able to raise our vibration, get into manifestation, and actually be able to shift our place in the world. That's what this is about. And it's your time to be able to reflect with me here and to put down your challenges, your current inner world journeys, but to be able to break out of conditioned reactions. And what I mean by that is let's use romance. It's the biggest one that most of us get shackled with, right? Now, if we have thoughts and subconscious victim modes, now let's have a look at it. How many of us have been in victim mode? I've been there. Where we've sat there and we've just gone, oh, they did this to me, they did that to me, how dare they, how could they have done this to me, etc. We then, all those thoughts make us feel that we're out of control of our lives. And they turn into feelings of victim mode. We then become defensive and we're looking for red flags and we're trying to avoid pain. And, what happens as a consequence? We get more and more of that. Okay. Same with career. We're desperately internally wanting success, right? We're wanting it. And then somehow what happens is that eludes us because that success is coming from desperation on the inside. Right? We're desperate for it. Now, the little key here, if you're wanting to get into gaining control of your life, if you want to step out of your comfort zone, then that's key to literally everything. Right? So if you're wanting to step outside of your comfort zone, you've got to challenge your core beliefs. What are your core beliefs about things like money? What are your core beliefs about romance and love and success? What do you believe you have to do in order to be successful? And here's another little nugget that I believe that most people will get stuck into. And it's whatever most people are stuck in, I will feel happy when. Okay? You fill the blank. When something. Now, I'll feel happy when I've got the job. I'll feel happy when I've got the person, when I've got the perfect body. You fill the blank. What will happen is that you'll never feel satisfied. You need to feel happy now. And then you will get it. Now, so that state takes a while of working on. But we need to be able to have control over our emotions rather than have our emotions controlled by our environment. Okay. That's a sense of mastery there. We have a lovely Raymond that's just wanting me to tune in here and have a reading on a job offer. Okay. So blessed. Okay. So let's have a look to see what comes through for Raymond and job offer. Okay. Now, one thing I feel like I'm being shown here is that there is an opportunity. I'm being shown a handshake, which means straight away that you have an offer that is a sealed deal, so to speak. So this is something that you can have. I also hear or see, if anything, the number 3. I'm also being shown someone here with dark hair, dark eyes, with darker skin tone that seems to come through. So you may be working closely alongside that individual. I also feel like that I'm in and around lots of glass, metal, screens, this kind of thing. So I don't know whether you may have a potential office type connection that is linked to this one. Now, the interesting thing here is that I'm being shown 3. So you're either going to be hearing it within 3 weeks. I don't believe that. Yeah, around about 3 weeks, because I was shown 3 and I was asking, what is that, 3 days, 3 weeks? And it's 3 weeks, around about 3 weeks mark. Okay. And my impression here that I get with you is that for some reason I'm feeling slightly nervous. And I feel like I'm wanting to lift your solar chakra up here, right? So here, as best as possible, imagine and feel yourself in that job role as already done. You're happy, you're settled, you're in control of it, right? Throw any fears and concerns away. So yeah, that's yours. It's on the table. What I will say is that just reflect on where you're wanting to go and to see whether there's a survival element to this, okay? Grand scheme of things, where you're wanting to go, and keep your focus there, because I was just told last minute by my guide, building and crafting a future rather than step out of survival. So keep your mindset on that. Now, there's a couple of people that are joining in here, and just want to say a wonderful hi to, I'm going to pronounce your name here, Mocha Gypsy. Mocha, I'm assuming that you like good mocha. Now, yeah, it's all right. Whenever I link to anyone's name, I get some energy. But we're talking predominantly here, as well as linking in, about self-mastery, mind, body, spirit upgrade. How can we improve our lives, right? Now, we've got an example there of a job coming in. Mocha, how are you with what I've been talking about? I don't wonder if you want to interact a little bit. Do you find yourself easily able to detach and observe your thoughts, almost in a comical way? Have you ever felt yourself going, you know what, I can see and witness my thoughts rather than get lost in them? It's the analogy of being, can't see the woods for the trees. We get lost in our own thoughts and we can't control them. They spiral off. Do you ever get like that? I know I've been in that place where I've analyzed myself into a chasm. And yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with stress, isn't it? It's like the ability to take control out of that. That's sometimes it's led by the body itself. So when we think something stressful, the body then fires the cortisol, adrenaline, stress, and that leads to more thoughts that are stressful and overreacting and things going wrong and that kind of thing. But yeah, but usually when stressed, I mean, what do you find? I mean, this is one thing that this is kind of like a reflection hour as well. Like, what do you find generally stresses you out, Mocha? Is there something that there's a pattern? Like for me, the second that the computer usually doesn't do something that it used to do 5 minutes ago perfectly fine, and now for some reason it doesn't, and I'm under time restraints, nice little trigger for me. So then that goes back to certain experiences in childhood and other things. But what are your triggers? And it'd be nice to kind of build a nice little dialogue here to reflect on that. And what are our coping mechanisms? Because most people, believe it or not, exist in coping mechanisms. They can't tell the difference between who they are and what their coping mechanisms are. And again, I would argue, and I'm putting it forwards, that who we are is our soul deep down. Good afternoon. I don't know how to pronounce your name properly here. Good afternoon, A. Yilmaz. I think I'm pronouncing that. Mocha, for me, it's thinking too much about the things I can't control. Listening to the news. Yes, hear you on that one. Now, not to get too deep into that, but I knew someone that worked within the news, and there is a deliberate algorithm designed to put more fear into our minds in order to create reaction than there is positive. Now, if you look at that, if you just look objectively, how much in the news is positive and uplifting? It's a fraction in comparison to the negative problems, right? And it's designed there for an economic cause, right? It serves, well, again, I'll leave that open to you, but there's a reason why that's the case. They could put any news on, and there is wonderful news everywhere. You know, it's blatantly obvious that the people that make the news aren't sitting there in a state of gratitude, right? So, you know, if I was making the news, it would be far different. You know, I'd be making news reports about beautiful people that are meditating on the beach and, you know, connecting and, you know, the wonderful, amazing feeling that happens when we connect with nature and, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? But I think you've nailed one thing there, though, Mocha. Things you can't control. And that's control is a big, big area. You know, control for me, and like with many, you know, it's often labeled as the illusion, you know, but there are certain things we can control, right? But it's knowing what we can control and what we can't. That's a big one. And I will do a little bit of a guided meditation for those that are into wanting to gain a connection to their soul here and be able to deliver guidance from my guide at the same time. But yes, control, knowing when to use it and when to release and surrender to the greater good. Okay. Because sometimes we don't realize that what we want doesn't serve us. It's a really big state of mind to come from. We've got a couple of other. Now we've got Trudy Malins. I now managed to catch those pesky triggers mid tantrum. Amazing. That's an amazing state to be in. So it's mid tantrums, mid state. Yeah. So the triggers. So what are your triggers, Trudy? Like what triggers you quite regularly, or what's an area that you regularly connect in with, if you see what I mean, when it comes to an area where scars occur? Now, I'm going to delve a little bit deeper to essentially where repeated patterns occur. Now, this is what I call life lessons. Now, our soul is here for a reason. And I just noticed the positivity pack here. Just showing support from one light giver to another. Thank you. Thank you. It's amazing. Again, this is what I'm all about. It's just about giving to others in the best way possible through being my authentic self. Injustice, truly. Okay, so this is one of your triggers. Okay. Okay. Interestingly, I seem to be, as I feel into injustice with you, I am like, I am kind of going into the solar chakra area to you. And I feel like I'm going back. I want you to go now around about the age of 7 and 8. Just see if you can go there. Just reflect on that. Because I believe there was a root there. Some kind of experience of power inadvertently used that's in your experience. Truly ever reflect on that one, because I'm being guided there with you. Okay. And issues with power incorrectly used. Yeah. Injustice, usually many, many lifetimes. Yeah. See, either underactive or overactive use of power is likely what you will end up falling into as a pattern, I'm being told here. Because there are Egyptian energies that are thrown at you. This is one that feels quite relevant. But this seems to be partly, yeah, this is one that's you're working through right now. Okay. Okay. There's going to be an interesting it's going to sound like a stupid message. Cat talker, that I was told. I keep seeing all these cats, right? And it makes sense, right? Egypt, there was a reverence for that. But I would say that you are going to get messages from cats, right? Just, it sounds stupid, but we get message from life, right? Just this morning on the beach, I was talking to a lady that was going through some. I live and talk this, so I always run down to the beach every morning. I swim in the sea, no matter, even in January, February, I'm swimming in the sea. And I come out and I'm zenfully connecting with life, and I'm drawn literally to someone's energy who's meditating on the beach. And I saw this beautiful spiral of golden white energy, lots of blue and lots of other things. And my guide said to me, "You need to go talk to them." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I went and talked to them, and was very much guided. And all the things that I mentioned around them, they could accept. And they were like, "Yes, exactly what I'm going through." And then this beautiful wren, I don't see wrens, tiny little thing, came and literally stood in between us. And I know exactly what wren means to me, because I use a lot of druidic animal terminology. And I portrayed the message to her, and she was like, "Wow, yeah, that's exactly what's going on." So there is connections, right? Life supports us. So, and like from Trudy, like you've says, you make sense. You dreamt of cats in my house 2 nights ago. So again, the cats are subjective, but because it's being channeled through me, it may have a lens of my own interpretation. So for me, the cat quite literally represents the ability to sense entities that exist in a different dimension, and to be very much aware of the time to be delving into your inner world and the psychic spiritual world, and the time to be indulging in following the right flow, you see. So it's a flow state to me. Cats are often always aware of a dimension of reality that's just outside of our own, and they follow a current that is not quite in line with the reality that we are in now. And it's the attunement to this underlying current that is attempting to be worked on with you. And I would say with you, there is a feeling here of, how can I put this? You might find yourself a little bit tired here and out of energy, right? But you're being slightly detached from what I would call fighting, driving energy, and are attempting to be pulled into flow state energy. And over the next few months, that's going to ramp up for you. But sorry, sometimes I zone out and I'm connecting to certain things that guides are saying to me. I don't know why Richard seems important here. I may still be connected to you, Trudy, with a Richard. I feel like but I'm fixing a wall here. Like I'm someone that's very handsy, right? And I'm fixing a wall, and I'm putting bricks together and all that kind of stuff. A Yilmaz, you're saying hello. Thank you for being here, and you're saying hello to Spencer as well. You said you work in the Akashic realm, and a line is my personal guide. Well, I suppose it makes sense with cats, doesn't it? So, the Akashic realm and being aware of our life lessons, and yeah, being aware of, and this is essentially what our life lessons are, the lessons that our higher self, our soul, has is chosen. And this is one of these things that I think instantly snaps us at anyone out of a sense of poor me moment, because we can all fall into it, right? You know, learning our life lessons. Like sometimes many of us can be like, oh, I don't want to learn any life lessons. And I would say that knowing that our soul has chosen to come into this body in this dimensional frequency at this time with these parents in this situation with everything that's going on in this time deliberately, and trying to figure out why rather than getting annoyed at it, that's when we enter into our soul. That's when we enter into our resourcefulness. Why is this occurring to me? What's it teaching me? Right? Now, if we want to be courageous and powerful, we need to learn to overcome obstacles, right? If someone wants to be strong, they have lots of weights to pick up. Same thing occurs emotionally. If we want to be emotionally robust, if we want to be inspirational, we need to learn to be inspirational by picking ourselves up from problems. So see problems as the training ground. Trudy, thank you for that lovely compliment. It's nice of you. Love coming from one light giver to another. You've got magical soul vibes. Okay, to you. You obviously know the team, and thank you for all your support for my my first mind, body, spirit upgrade hour. And you know, for those of you that are here, you know, interact a little bit and let me know whether you want me to send you through a little bit more of a guided process here to see whether we can get some a little bit of an intuitively led answer from your higher self, because that's a lot of the work that I do with people is helping them to learn their life lessons, access their Akashic records, as it seems Trudy you're very attuned with, understand what their current life lesson is. Fiona, Fiona Druitt, is that correct? It's lovely for you to be here, and thank you for saying that you're enjoying the space. My intention, as always, is to make this space a time for you to go, zone out and go, let's get away from how I am attracting what I don't like to me, right? We and I know that it sounds, many of us know this deep down, when problems happen, that at the root of these problems is us subconsciously. Now, we have a conscious self and a subconscious self. And quite often, much of what's attracted to us comes from subconscious emotional DNA as well. And DNA, the subconscious is ruled by firing spiritual DNA. And within our DNA, we have Depends on how deeply I go here, but we have so many different versions of ourselves. You know, we've got extra dimensional DNA. We have different creatures, of which I communicate with myself, different types of entities at all times. You know, extraterrestrials, we have multi-dimensional creatures and their energy is spliced into ours in many different ways, but we only have access to what we have been told about initially. Okay. So, well, told about, how can I put that? So I need to reframe that wording, but our soul chooses the limitations, right? So we self-limit ourselves for a portion of our lives, right? Because if you put yourself here, we know that deep down, all of us know this, that we are omnipotent souls. Deep down, our soul can do literally anything. It can manifest anything it wants. But if you imagine being in a dimension where that anything you can think of, anything you want to feel, just appears. It's just there, right? Imagine being there for eons and eons and eons. Life tends to lose an awful lot of its essence, its beauty. And like if you're playing a game, if you're playing a football game and that you can kick the ball in at any time, in fact, you can just think about the ball going in the net, it loses its fun. You know, but if you put restraints, right? Okay, you actually can't just use your will. You have to kick the ball, and the ball, it deals with the principle of gravity, right? So it's got gravity and it's got wind, right? And then you can't kick it, you know, outside of certain areas. Suddenly there becomes challenge, right? There's a challenge. So what we do is we incarnate with rules. We incarnate in this 3D realm, which has, you know, gravity, physics, etc. These all things affect our physical form. And we're also blocked from our accessing our deep DNA wisdom. And we have genetic DNA, and we can access all of our memories, and, you know, we're limited. But there's a certain point, which is the awakening, right? Some people can sit there in their conditioning all their life. They grind away at work. They do their own thing. They're just earning money. They're just existing. And there's a certain point where the people get to, which is called the first awakening, where people go, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be more to this. And I know, truly, you get this. So many different types of DNA within us. Exactly. There's so much more to us. But that moment of awareness where people go, he's working this 9-to-5 job and just taking care of the kids and just eating, food in, eating, shopping. Like, is this what life is? Sure, there's more to it. And then we start to look into things like meditation, and maybe there's something to my weird dreams. Maybe there is someone standing next to my bed when I think I see them at night. Maybe these buzzing in my ears actually mean something. You know, we start going down that rabbit hole of there's more to life. And it's at the very moment we start to unlock our DNA, we start to unravel it. I'm actually quite geeky when it comes to science as well. I've done a lot of psychology, and used to be a teacher, believe it or not. And there's proof that DNA is activated by our environment. It's not preset. Okay, it's not preset, which is what mainstream teaches you. Okay, and actually, we can, and the environment is dictated by our perception of the environment. So the perception of our environment, or the perception, and again, the perception of us here, is the very thing that sets our DNA alive. Okay, so we can either choose to lock ourselves up or open ourselves. Emily, thank you. You're just saying that I'm doing brilliant today. We're all loving this, and that you think, you know, wonderful. Thank you so very much. That comment, yeah, you're resonating with what I'm saying. Thank you. And the same here for misbehaving. That reminds me of men behaving badly, showing my age now. Be quite curious there to see where you misbehave and what behave means. It's a really good question. What does behave actually mean? It's so different for everyone, isn't it? Behave. You know, if someone was to say to you, like, because I am a social rebel, I will do the social things that you shouldn't do, especially living in the UK. Walking up to a random stranger and just going, hey, by the way, you've got this aura around you and you've got this and this and this. Does that make any sense to you? I'm only doing it because I'm told to and I feel like it would help them. But living in that stiff upper lip, you might be bothering them. You know, the standard British mindset of, no, that's, you know, like people on the tube, get the paper out, just sit there and don't look at each other. That's not me. I want to connect on the soul level. And it requires courage, granted. But there are loads of you here. You know, Trudy, no doubt you've got, you know, wonderful skill and energy that seems to be flowing around you. And again, Emily, this is where I've got this purple energy that's, again, it feels core-like with you. It's and now granted, yes, I'm told nature, fair enough. Yeah, it's a very root of your energy, granted. But the purple to me is quite core to your vibration. So to me, feeling out of place is it's probably a natural state that you've probably felt a bit alien for quite a lot of your life, but you're very emotional and compassionate, I would say. You know, the positivity pack, I just want to connect in with you with there, and you know, thank you for joining in with what I'm saying, because it's wonderful to have a bit of a community here. But there's something about with you, the positivity pack. I keep seeing your energy in and around music and what feels like a retreat. You only got people that are playing the drums. They're connecting in with nature, connecting in with wilderness. And I feel, but the thing here is that they're saying to me, they're giving me no, I don't use the cards. I used to at some point. They get in the way for me. I'm being given the Ace of Wands, the symbol of Ace of Wands, which to me is initiative and creation and starting something and passion and direction. And I feel here, the positivity pack, there's something about you creating some kind of communal soul tribe event or joining one, something like that. Let me know if that makes any sense to you, but it's floating around your energy. But I just want to do something with you just for a moment, okay? Just for a few minutes, okay? I want to explain a specific form of breathing, okay? It's called the 6 directional lotus breath breathing, okay? And imagine around you that there is simply golden white light, okay, all around you. It's a type of energy that your crown chakra is able to connect to, the divine life-giving essence that's all around you, okay? Now, imagine this is just all around you, buzzing around you. Now, I want you to, from the nose, breathe in from the stomach chakra. And as you do so, imagine you're breathing in from the front and then out. And I want you to do that again, breathing in this wonderful golden light energy from the front and the back. Okay, and then out. And the next breath, we're joining in left, right, front, and back. Into the abdomen and out. And now we're joining in the top and bottom with front, back, left, and right. Now, being able to breathe like that from multiple directions actually snaps us out of a certain destructive cycle of creation. Okay, our DNA is woven into 10 dimensions, whereas it should be more 12 base. But that's going a bit deep there. But to snap out of that and come back to our soul DNA, We need to be able to be breathing in this avenue, being aware of our energy, moving that to a spherical breathing, whether it's simply like a bubble of divine white energy in to our soul and out. And then many of you might be aware of this, that if you breathe into and up, as you do that, breathe into your base chakra, spherical breathing, right the way up to the pineal gland at the top. Hold it there as long as you can, and imagine it melting out as you breathe out, and the whole of your aura glowing with this golden white light. One more time. I can't help but smile when I do it because it was amazing. And out. And feel your energy glow. Literally, I can feel my hands buzzing as I do this. And my third eye is pulsing, and the top of my crown's pulsing. But I just want you to have that as my little gift to you. I met this wonderful guy once that he goes into a lot more detail about other things, about the rewiring of our base DNA, and showed me this wonderful technique amongst others. And I'm passing that gift on. I went into my zone there, the positivity pack. It's amazing. You actually relate to what I mentioned there. Your vision for the future being around a soul tribe with nature and music, and you're also a singer-songwriter. Love it. Love it. It's beautiful. So it's this 6-breath lotus breathing. If all of us can sit here and do this more often every day, and get used to breathing from different directions of our body, right? Consciously breathing. And there's something that I want us to all know when looking at energy here, because I know I haven't got that long left with you, but I want to leave with a parting gift. Both Fiona and Trudy, thank you for resonating with what I'm doing here. That we need to be heightening our vibration, okay? Naturally. Sitting in a love state more often than we're sitting in a fear or grumpy state, in order for things in our life to resonate with what we feel. Remember that. And when it comes to breathing, you breathe in the energy that's around you. And when you breathe out, you are projecting your will. So if you're doing any intonation, any affirmation or visualization, it's on the out breath, where, for example, if you want your own personal space, you want energy out of your space, hands out, visualizing from your hands all around you, from your aura, this wonderful golden white light pouring out from you. A wonderful positivity pack. Your aura is expansive, yellow and pale green. Amazing. Thank you so very much for that. It's no, the interesting thing is that, I don't know whether you see this, but people tend to feel auras and see auras in their own unique way. My interpretation of blue may be different to someone else's blue, for example. So that will be something that makes perfect sense to you. And also I find that there's mood auras and then core auras as well. So thank you so much for giving back to me. It's wonderful. But being intentional about our thoughts and our feelings, making sure that they're cohesive, in alignment, or your thinking is in alignment with your values, your soul, your heart. Is it in alignment with what you want? Because that's the power of your soul, right? You upgrade yourself from being stuck in the mind and stuck in the body of hormones and reactions. Bring yourself over to soul. Become the champion, whether that's a loving spiritual champion. Adhere to the morals and values that you want to adhere to. And you'll find that you'll ooze love, and life will start to serve you and flow to you. That's the main message that I'm wanting to leave everyone else with, and offer a huge amount of support to those that have supported me. Now, I've only got a few minutes left, and I do want to let all of you know that I will be jumping onto the lines from 3 till 4 to take some calls with any of you that are drawn to how I work, want to connect in on a deeper level. And I may very well stay on for a little bit more. Let's see. That's what I'm drawn to. But if you do want to get hold of me, you can get hold of me online. You'll see me pop up. I can't actually remember my PIN number now. I think actually I'll get a bit of support on that one. 500 something it is. There we go. Support's helped me out here. My PIN number is 500-321. And feel free to jump on and grab a call with me, because I'll be logging on straight away after this live webcam slot with me ends. But it's been lovely to connect with you. Thanks, Saturn. That's a throwback. That is experimental elemental. Love it. Thank you. And yeah, thank you very much for all of your support. We've got a couple of minutes now, but I just want to say 14th of August for all of you here. 14th of August, there's something about if you want to do some deep dive work and get out in nature. Apparently it's profound for all those who have Egyptian lives. Not sure what that's all about. Okay, it's just what's been given in my head. Remember that. Okay, do something in the evening or night that is about clearing and accessing that. So yeah, last bit of information that popped through. Trudy, yes, thank you so much about your feedback on the 6 lotus breath reading. Sorry, the lotus breathing. Yes, yeah, doing it in the morning is a fantastic thing. Fiona, Positivity Pack. Oh yeah, joining on the 14th of August. I'm going to try and do that as well. Experimental elemental reading with you many moons ago. Yeah, that must have been years back. But when I called myself Saturn. There's a reason for that, karma and all. Learning our reason to be here. But anyway, I'll wish you so much love and light, and I'll see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. for the Mind, Body, Spirit Upgrade Hour.